Good morning. Hi. How are we doing? So good to be here with you. Thank you so much for joining me this morning to experience whatever we're meant to experience. Today we're going to talk about the difference between your creation and your control. Those are actually two different things, and everybody confuses them. So I'm so grateful and honored to be able to share this with you. If you could do me a huge favor and grow the group with me so more people can understand the difference between creativity and control, that would be really great. I would appreciate that. And so will the person that you share this with. So thank you very much for that. It's the day after 4th of July, so I'm sure that everybody is not awake yet, including in the Eastern time. It's about 10 o'clock this morning. We do this every day, Monday through Friday, 9:30ish. I try to get it done before 10, so that way you can start your day off right. I feel like there's something else I wanted to tell you. Oh, yes, something wonderful. Monday. So, if you're watching this live, #live. If you're watching replay, #replay. Monday the 10th, I'm going to have my podcast comes out on Mondays, right? And so on Monday the 10th, I'm going to be dropping my podcast with Seidel Schultz. And I did this episode like months ago, and I wasn't able to, I kind of wanted to wait until I had a bunch of interviews before I relaunched my podcast. And what I learned is don't sit on good information if you have it, So, I did relaunch my podcast. I don't have any more interviews after I think 2 or 3 that I was able to get. So crazy. But, Seidel is a sound healer. She is incredible. She can hear stuff in your voice and in your soul through your voice. And she gets messages through sound for people. And she's just such a beautiful, beautiful person. And in this episode, it's so wild. She actually does the work on me and has me sing, because that is her thing. You're gonna sing, but and in the midst of it, she just flipped it on his head. She picked me out so well. It was wild. So yeah, definitely give that one a listen on Monday. Yesterday we did a live video on the U.S. solar return, so that's very exciting. Check that out. But yeah, anyways, we're going to talk about creativity versus control today. So when you create something, it does not mean you have control over it. And I think a lot of things that we are given to create, there is a difference. Okay, so I'm getting 2 different types of creations, right? There's one where you control literally everything when you create it. 2 is it just kind of comes through you, right? And the creation from a control aspect completely comes from the ego's desire to protect, and creation on the other side is completely divinely channeled, right? And when we divinely channel creation, right? Now think about that. That's a big word. That's a big statement. You can divinely channel a creation. You can bring something into this world from the divine, right? That's pretty much what Neptune and Pisces is all about. But that doesn't mean you control it. So part of what we're doing in this life is that give and take between creation and control, and being able to create something and versus being able to control how that creation then behaves after that, right? And you can see this in many, many aspects of life. One of them most notably being child rearing, right? You feel like you've created something that you don't have any control over in a lot of cases. And how much control over your kids are you supposed to have? And I've had a lot of times where I've heard the phrase like, they're your creations, you should control them, right? I don't think it works that way. And a couple of weeks ago, I posted something about, we create our lives and stuff, and somebody had commented, that's very ego-based because it's very selfish because of you can't control everything. And that's what kind of sparked this interest in this kind of digging into the difference between creativity and control. We create our lives. We don't control our lives. We create our realities. We co-create that with the divine. We don't control everything. You cannot control every single aspect. It is not possible. And that's where trust comes in, and that's where letting go comes in. When you're in the space between creativity and control, you are in a space of pure alignment, of releasing anything that's not serving you, releasing fear, releasing pain. And that's the difference, right? So like if you're here and here, and true creation is somewhere in between, right? Because you have to have some control, you have to have some say over what's going to happen. You can't just be like, whatever, Jesus take the wheel kind of thing all the time. You can't just ask the divine to run your life. But at the same time, you cannot control everything. And so there's a difference between, there's this back and forth between creativity, creation, and control that we are dancing every day of our lives. And just because we create our lives doesn't mean that we can control them. Not everything, right? And the stuff we can't control, we give up. We surrender. We surrender that, because a lot of our ego stuff that we're trying to, I'm not a person who's like, oh, get rid of your ego, but a lot of the ego stuff that we're trying to release is wanting to control everything in our lives. And the reason that we oftentimes can't release things is because we're trying to control stuff. Once you let go of the pain that you're holding on to, that makes you want to control everything around you, whether it's childhood pain, whether it's ancestral pain, whether it's a contract you made with yourself, some kind of a vow, whether it's an energetic weapon that's stuck inside you, right? Once you have completely released the charge and the pain and addressed the core root issue, ego doesn't have this desire to protect as much, and then the control desire starts to go away. This anxiety, I have to control everything, starts to go away. So there's just a big difference between, and then you can step into the creation. Then you can step into the creativity of everything. So that is my soapbox for the day. Please, if you could just comment in the video something that you resonated with, just so that way I can know where your headspace is, because I just sometimes don't know, Sometimes I appreciate when people comment all the time. I love comments, and I love chatting with people and hanging out. So thank you so much for watching and listening, and I will see you tomorrow.